Today we have a 2025 Polestar 3. In this video, I'll talk about what the Polestar 3 is, how I feel about the interior space, and what it's like to drive it. So, you made it. You're in your 30s, you probably work in finance or tech, and you earned the bonus that you very much deserve. So now it's time to retire your BMW 330i and get a new car. So what are your requirements? Well, it has to be an EV because you're eco-friendly and the car has to be good for environment. It also has to be an SUV because you need a big car to show how much money you have, right? Well, what are your options? You can get a Tesla, but everybody has a Tesla. You want to show that you're different and you don't like NPC looking like SUVs. Well, I got something for you, and it's today's hero, the 2025 Polestar 3. So the question is, what is this thing? Well, it's a fully electric midsize SUV from Polestar, a Swedish brand that is partially owned by Volvo, and what comes with that, it shares a lot with fully electric models from its parent company. It's based on a dedicated 400-volt EV platform developed by Volvo, also used in the new Volvo EX90 SUV or the ES90 sedan, and features a double wishbone front suspension and a multilink setup in the back. Passive, non-adaptive dampers with coil springs are standard. As you go up the trims and packages, you'll find an active air suspension with adaptive dampers. So let's talk about our options here. Basically, we have two powertrains to choose from. A rear-wheel drive single motor, which makes 299 horsepower and has 350 miles of range, or an all-wheel drive dual motor, which has 489 horsepower and 315 miles of range. Now, we can also add a performance pack to the dual motor variant, which is a software update that increases the power to 517 horses, but as a drawback, we lose some range and get 279 miles on full battery. All variants use a 111 kilowatt-hour battery pack, so let's talk about charging times. If you use a DC fast charging, you can get from 10% to 80% in about 30 minutes. As with other EVs, the final 20% capacity of a lithium-ion battery charges at slower rate, extending the charge time. Now, obviously, the most convenient and inexpensive way to charge an EV is at home, using an AC 2-level wall box. If you take that approach, getting from 0 to 100 should take about 11 hours. Now, before we talk what it's like to drive the Polestar 3, let's take a look inside and talk about the interior space. Now, the cabin is a definition of a minimalistic, simple Scandinavian design. It looks amazing and is made of fantastic high-quality materials. We have different types of fabric, aluminum, wood, and all the plastics are soft to the touch, even below the belt line. But there is a huge but. I have never been more frustrating using a car. See, decluttering the interior meant for Polestar removing basically all physical buttons and switches, and you control 95% of the car's functions using the infotainment system. So right in the middle, we have a huge vertical display, which from software and hardware perspective is great. The screen has a high resolution, features clean interface, and is very responsive. Add things like Google Maps, wireless Apple CarPlay, and plenty of apps from the Google Play Store to that, and we get all we need in a car. Now, the problem is that all crucial features are buried inside of it. While I can live with the fact that climate controls or other media-related things or settings are in there, I will not let it slide with other basic stuff. You want to open a glove box? You have to take your eyes off the road and use the screen. You want to adjust your mirrors or steering wheel? Same thing. Quickly dim the cockpit or change the drive settings? Well, guess what? You go to the infotainment. Granted, there are quick access controls and there's a shortcuts menu which features all the things that I just mentioned, but I really don't understand that approach. It's stupid, unsafe, and counterintuitive. Okay, enough of me venting, let's talk about some good things here. We have a digital gauge cluster in front of us, which displays all the important information, such as the map or the driver assistance information. There's also a head-up display, so that's a plus. I don't think I have to talk much about the Bowers & Wilkins sound system. It's class of its own, delivering an unbelievable sound quality and offering multiple DSP modes and a pretty robust EQ that you can mess with. So if you're an audiophile, make sure to check that option. The practicality is another strong aspect of the Polestar 3. Since the car is built on a dedicated EV platform, we get a lot of space in the center console, the door pockets are practical, and the trunk offers tons of space with clever storage solutions. We also have a tiny frunk up front, which will fit the charging cable and, I don't know, a windshield washer fluid. The front seats are the same ones used by Volvo, which means they're fantastic. They offer superior comfort and wide range of adjustments. They're heated and cooled in the top trim and offer pretty effective massage modes. Trust me, you can drive this car for hours and finish your trip feeling fresh and fatigue-free. Moving to the back, there's tons of legroom and headroom. We get climate controls, heated outer seats, and a couple of USB-C charging ports, so that's basically all you need. So, as a whole, the cabin is amazing, but the user experience is a disaster. Now, the question is, can the Polestar 3 redeem itself with its driving dynamics? Well, let's get it on the road and see how it drives. Okay, driving the Polestar 3. Now, as I said in the intro, the Polestar 3 uses Volvo's technology. It sits on their platform, but if you know a little bit about Polestar, is that they have history in motorsports, and in 2010s, all the high-performance Volvo models were labeled Polestar. So, since we're on our favorite back road, let's see how the Polestar 3 does. Let's figure out how to change driving settings. There's no drive modes or a drive mode selector per se. You can set up things individually. Okay, so we're gonna put the power delivery in performance, steering in firm, suspension in firm. One pedal drive is disabled, so let's floor it. Oh wow, it's quick. Okay, 517 horsepower, even in a car that weighs over 5,700 pounds, is a lot, and the Polestar really delivers. The accelerator response is a little sharper in the performance mode. It's much smoother when you turn the range mode on. Let's take some of those corners a little bit more aggressively. The car feels rear bias and really likes to rotate, which I really like. Obviously, the steering doesn't give us any feel, but what do you expect from an electric car? Section of those corners. I really like the braking system here. The brake pedal feels nice, considering that we have a hybrid setup, regular pads on rotors and regen braking. Wow, I really like it. It dies down after 70 miles an hour like most EVs, but it's okay. It's super stable and it still feels like it weighs over 5,700 pounds, but at the same time it feels nimble. I really like how Polestar tuned the suspension in this thing. Okay. Heavier braking, nice. Nice rotation, a little bit of understeer. That safe understeer that tells you to chill out. Also, we're not pushing the car to the limits. The surface is a little wet this morning. Wow, it's super quick. So as a reminder, we have a dual range motor with a performance pack, so we have some performance upgrades. Upgraded brakes, reaching suspension, a little bit more power. And okay, I was complaining in interior impressions that it's frustrating to use, but it's not frustrating to drive. All right, the surface is getting a little rougher, so let's go to the range mode, suspension in standard, steering in light, and we have two levels of regen braking. Let's enable low. It's not a full-on one-pedal drive, but it's gonna slow the car down if you lift up from the accelerator. All right, driving the Polestar on a daily basis is amazing. First of all, the suspension. It's a huge improvement over other Polestar or Volvo models. It really nicely soaks up all the road imperfections. There isn't any nice unnecessary vibration coming inside. Even rougher, smaller potholes, they're very nicely filtered out. So I'm really happy that Volvo and Polestar finally figured out how to tune a suspension. Also, as we slow down, we notice that there isn't much road noise or wind noise coming inside. The battery pack that sits on the floor acts as an isolation and really eliminates some of that road noise as well. It's a super quiet experience. We have laminated side windows, and as a luxury product, this thing is amazing. It's easy to drive, it's very smooth, and if it wasn't for that stupid interior and getting rid of all the physical controls, that probably would have been my favorite EV on the market, because at the end of the day, we spend most of the time in our cars and we use all of those features. I mean, window controls, I have to press the button if I want to roll down back windows. I want to roll up front windows, I have to press it again. It's just super frustrating. Adjusting my mirrors, opening glove box. I mean, those obvious things shouldn't be so complicated in a car, you know, especially from a company that has ties to Volvo that prioritizes safety. So just to conclude it, if we talk about safety, we have a good set of driver assistance systems. They're not intrusive to drive. They're not full-blown level 3. We do have pilot assist with adaptive cruise control and lane centering. It has lane changing assist. It works pretty okay. Those systems, again, like typically in a Volvo, they're not intrusive. So from a overall driving perspective, I really like this thing, but the user experience is frustrating. So let's head into the final thoughts and summarize this thing. Okay, summing up the Polestar 3. I don't remember when was the last time I drove a car that gave me such polarizing impressions. On one hand, it's beautiful inside and out, it's super fun and engaging to drive, and at the same time, comfortable. So as an overall product, this thing is amazing. On the other hand, it's super frustrating to interact with it. Removing majority of physical controls was just a terrible idea, and for a brand that has ties to Volvo, which prioritizes safety and is a synonym for safety, this is a big misunderstanding. Yes, after a while you get used to all that, but I just hate when manufacturers try to reinvent a wheel. And that comes from someone who works in tech and loves new technologies. Anyways, if you guys have any questions about the Polestar 3, drop a comment and I'll answer them. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later.